Hey guys, how you all doing? Uh yeah, I know. I'm fucking late. Sue me. Let me fix this camera a little bit. All right. How am I coming in? Am I doing all right? Is the stream coming in okay? Hopefully it is. If it's not, I don't know what the fucking I'll tell you. um by all means, guys, greatly appreciate if you hit the like button to show some support to the channel. Greatly appreciate all of you for the support you've given me through this rough time in the last 2 months while I was on a major hiatus. Let me fix this. Okay. Um, and I'm glad you guys stuck by me and didn't give up on me and everything else. So I greatly appreciate all of you. And greatly appreciate for the 2 subscribers that came along while I was gone for 2 months. Um Raw last night. Raw was okay. It was a decent show. I mean, there was nothing spectacular that happened, but it wasn't bad either. I think Cody and Shinsei Nakamura's main event was okay. I think Shinsei Nakamura getting a W would have been a lot better, but unfortunately, we didn't get that. Uh, Possibly, I'm certain there are some people that follow this channel would probably disagree with me and think Cody needed the win to keep momentum going, which I don't believe. I think he needs some adversity. Um, but they can still add that adversity on by putting him number 1 in the Royal Rumble. I'm still leaning towards Cody Rhodes. I know I'm one of the oddballs out here, the minority on this. I mean, I don't got anything against CM Punk winning the Royal Rumble. It does make sense. Don't get me wrong. But still at the same time, um, I think logically, I think Cody would be the best option so that they give Cody the option to choose between Raw and SmackDown. Cody doesn't win the Royal Rumble. We don't have that flexibility anymore. Then we got to force shit. So that's kind of why I'm leaning towards Cody winning the Royal Rumble over CM Punk. CM Punk always has the ability to go on to WrestleMania to face Seth Rollins. That's the Elimination Chamber competing against Raw superstars to challenge for the world title at WrestleMania. So that's the reason why I'm leaning towards that idea. But who knows? I'm probably leaning towards though CM Punk winning as things seem to be. I think they're going to go with CM Punk simply because he's a part-timer. I don't think he's going to want to wrestle inside the Elimination Chamber. So it's probably why I lean towards him. Not because I want him to win, but because of logical reasoning behind it. With everything being withstand on his contract and everything else, I don't think he's going to be anywhere near Elimination Chamber type of match where he'd have to compete against 5 other guys and beat them all to be the guy to face Seth Rollins. So probably chances are, despite the fact I'm not a big fan of the idea of CM Punk winning because of logic and the fact that they're going to have to force Cody into the SmackDown Elimination Chamber to face Roman Reigns, I'm kind of against it, but I get it. And I know why they're going to go with CM Punk more than likely. Especially last night's show definitely showed that CM Punk is going to win. They had a major program last night with Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, which I absolutely loved. I'm hoping that these two will be going at it as the final 4, as one of the two out of the 4. I think it's going to be CM Punk. Probably CM Punk. Well, not probably. Definitely CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, and possibly LA Knight. Oh wait, LA Knight's not going to be in the Rumble. Excuse me, he's actually in the Fatal 4 Way. Uh, who, who's a good person to throw in there? Mm, I mean, Jey Uso's one of them. Jimmy could always interfere at the end and fuck him out of the match, possibly becoming the guy to win the Royal Rumble itself. So that's a possibility. Um, but yeah. Anyway, let's go through the comments here. Then we'll go into the review itself. Um, Rachel Buck made a couple of comments. She says, I got a question I need to ask you. Do you remember when Kenny Omega said that if he got injured one time, he would retire from AEW? Well, he got injured. So do you see him retiring from retiring now from AEW? Uh, I don't know. I mean, I didn't know that he got injured. I thought he got some sort of infection. So I'm not quite sure. And he's gotten injured before. So I don't think so. That's why he had to take a long hiatus for a whole year. So I don't think that's true at all, what he said. She continues on and says, I need to ask, do you see Cody Rhodes being champion of SmackDown after he beats Roman Reigns? And do you see CM Punk? Because, I mean, champion after he beats Seth Rollins from Monday Night Raw. So that they both could be champion on both brands. And do you think the ratings will go up for both Raw and SmackDown if Punk and Cody Rhodes will be champion on Raw and SmackDown? I I think it would be great. I think it would help both brands. Transitioning from Roman Reigns to Cody Rhodes is not a bad transition whatsoever. Cody knows how to tell a good story. So, I mean, there's a lot that you benefit with Roman Reigns losing to Cody Rhodes with a great story to tell over a year of build. And then on top of it, we're talking about possibly The Rock going one-on-one with Roman Reigns at the Elimination Chamber if they book it that way. I mean, you got a hell of a fucking build of Roman Reigns up into going into WrestleMania. He faces beats three other opponents and beats them all and wins that match. And then goes on to face The Rock, beat him at Elimination Chamber, and then face Cody Rhodes, and Cody beats him. I mean, at that point, he's on cloud nine. And then Cody takes all that away from him. I think that's fucking great. CM Punk, he's a totally different story. He's a guy from AEW who takes a world championship from Seth Rollins and does the unthinkable after 10 plus years of a hiatus. So, I mean, it works. It does. I think it's perfect setup. I think it's the right move. I think both of those guys are the perfect combination as champions. And if CM Punk didn't come around, I would say Sami Zayn should be the guy beating Seth Rollins for the world title. Just my personal opinion. Rachel Buck then goes on and says, when do you see Ricky Starks coming to WWE after WrestleMania or before WrestleMania? Never. And then she's asking, are you going to be happy when Naomi comes to WWE and you see and do you see her feuding with Bayley? I think that's a possibility. I think that would be a good feud as long as Bayley is actually a champion. If she's not champion, I don't see any point in it at that point in time until she is. So that's just my viewpoint. Matt 87 Eagle, he says, Raw was all right show, but I seriously question Triple H's sanity in booking Ginger Mahal get this burn off my TV. Mahal 3 consecutive weeks on the show. Actually, it's 2 weeks, not 3. Yeah, I have to agree with you, Matt 87 Eagle. I think that is absolutely ridiculous. I personally do not understand why in the hell, uh, why in the hell Jinder Mahal's even being on TV? I don't even know why he was on television last night. I think it was an absolute fucking joke personally, and I truly do not want to see him ever again after he loses to Seth Rollins next week for the world title. I swear to God, I actually have no joke, guys. I have third row tickets in section H. You might see me on television. And I was telling Matt 87 Eagle last night, I'm saying, bro, I just spent a fucking shitload of money for this shit. They're gonna have Jinder Mahal face Seth Rollins for the world championship. Like they have no other people on the roster they can go with. Are you fucking kidding me? Really? Like, give me a fucking break, man. What a joke. What a fucking joke, man. So yeah, I was pretty fucking pissed when I saw that, and I'm just glad they booked the match for next week, and it's not going to be on the Royal Rumble card. We're probably going to get the opponent that Seth Rollins is going to face at the Royal Rumble next week after Jinder Mahal loses. So that's probably the direction they're going to go with that. Who it's going to be, I think it should be Damian Priest. Just do a normal cash in. Say, I challenge you at the Royal Rumble. I want a shot at becoming world champion and going on to be headlining WrestleMania, and leave it at that. I mean, it's a perfect setup. It puts him in a world championship opportunity. We all know he's not going to win anyway. Put Damian Priest in a test run, see how he does for a world title match. He does great, awesome. You got a future world champion on your hands. He don't it's no loss, truthfully. You just give him the run and run with it, see how things go. And if things go great, then there you go. Perfect. Make him world champion by SummerSlam, make him world champion whenever. Have him win the Royal Rumble next year, then win at WrestleMania. I don't give a shit. But I think that is the guy that needs to be facing Seth Rollins right now for the world title. Matt 87 Eagle, of course, would agree with me on that. We discussed that last night between him and I. So, yeah. Matt 87 Eagle says, you are on time for your grand return. Great promo work between CM Punk and McIntyre. I totally agree with you on that. He continues on saying, even though Punk was talking out of his ass last night. Yeah. Matt 87 Eagle says Omega is sick, not injured. And besides, if Omega was going to retire from injuries, he would have done that after dropping the belt to Hangman Page, which I already mentioned. Thanks for the confirmation there, Matt. Rachel Buck says, do you think Jey Uso should beat Gunther for the IC championship because he's been feuding with Imperium? Or who do you see Gunther feuding with next? Good question. I think he should face Gunther should face Jey Uso for the IC title at the Royal Rumble. Do I see him winning the championship? I mean, I wouldn't be against it. I think he would do a magnificent job as IC champion. But I would really like to see a Brock Lesnar Gunther match over the IC title. I think those two competing over that title would make that title more prestigious, give it like the level of a world title altogether. So I kind of think that the title should stay on Gunther all the way up to WrestleMania. I think Brock Lesnar should lose to Gunther to give him that put over. I mean, if you really want to go crazy with this, maybe Brock Lesnar wins the IC title. Because at this point, Gunther's not really, looking all that bad if he loses to Brock Lesnar of all fucking people. But it would give him a big boost in his character by him beating Brock Lesnar. So either way you look at it, it's not really a loss any which way you do it, personally. I mean, you got Logan Paul as your US champion, who's going to face Kevin Owens at the Royal Rumble. That's going to be a fucking fun match. I'm looking forward to that one. I know Kevin Owens ain't going to win, but I hope he gives him a beating of his life. I really hope that happens. I hope he make him pretty damn sore after the whole event's over. Uh, that's pretty much that, you know. I again, I think they're doing everything right here. Monday Night Raw looks pretty decent. I'm not going to say that this show is fucking outrageously awesome, but it had what it needed, at least for the show. Let me go over this entire show with you guys right now. Hold on a second. My apologies for the delay here. All right. So, Drew McIntyre addresses last week's world title loss. Drew McIntyre's in the ring and says he's seen enough of that graphic. Last week, his match against Seth Rollins was all or nothing for him. McIntyre didn't want the title. He needed the title. As the people can see, he doesn't have the title, and McIntyre has been replaying the match over in his head. He had it won when he Claymored Rollins and pinned him, but he was overzealous, and that put Rollins' foot on the rope. McIntyre basically cost himself the match. Totally agree. This was great detail. Great stuff pointing out here what happened last week during that world championship opportunity he had. And it gave rhyme and reason why McIntyre lost. Because clearly, the way that Claymore kick connected, it was right on point. And had his foot not touched the rope, he would have won. The story that they're telling with Drew McIntyre, I think, is fucking fantastic. It clearly kind of makes him look like a contender to possibly win the world title at some point this year. And I think that's a great thing to do. That leaves variables, things that could happen, making it very unpredictable and giving people the sense that maybe he might actually win the damn championship at some point. And I think that's awesome. That's not stuff that we usually get from WWE when Vince McMahon was running it. It was very simplistic, very straightforward, nothing of essence involved in the show. There was no substance, there was nothing to bite your teeth into. It was really just bland, boring, and very repetitive. Over and over again, the same shit, same matches, same garbage, sometimes reiterated promos that we've heard a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I mean, it was utterly ridiculous. Commentary that sound ridiculous, saying Roman Reigns is the greatest world champion of all time. Wait, what about John Cena? What about Hulk Hogan? What about Ric Flair? What the fuck are you guys talking about, man? Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar. I mean, you guys got to be out of your fucking minds to be saying Roman Reigns is the greatest world champion when every match he has, he cheats. I mean, he's doing like JBL type shit at this point. But yeah, I'm liking what they're doing with Drew McIntyre. They're leaving a very possibility of a Drew McIntyre run as world champion at some point down the line this year, which I think would be great. And it would convince him to stay with the company. So, yeah. So, McIntyre has been thinking about this all week. Maybe Rollins and Sami Zayn have been right. Maybe the one person holding Drew McIntyre back is himself. If that's the case, he needs to get himself right. McIntyre has to step away from WWE. While the crowd was shocked, McIntyre says he's been thinking about this. It wasn't easy to start feeling this way. Um, this has been a lifelong dream. It occurred to him that it wasn't true. He didn't lose straight up. The better man didn't win. Damian Priest cashed in during the match and cost McIntyre and Damian Priest himself the match. So he basically screwed both of them, which is very true. He basically did. He screwed both of them, both himself and Drew McIntyre, from winning the title instead of just waiting until he won the match after he was busted up. Then he could have cashed in on him at that point. So, I mean, that was pretty fucking true to the point. Rachel Buck says, "Are you happy that Awesome Truth is back together on WWE? And this will be a better way for Miz and R-Truth. And next week, it's going to be Awesome Truth versus Finn Balor and Damian Priest." I think they were a great tag team. I think they had a very good chemistry, the two of them. And they just kind of dropped the ball on them. And bringing them back together is a great thing. I think R-Truth is a very underutilized performer. I absolutely love R-Truth. I think he's funny as shit. I think he's a good wrestler. He was great in TNA as Ron the Truth Killings. And he's just very underrated. I think he's awesome. He's got a lot of intensity. He moves very fast in the ring. He can produce a fast-paced match with his opponent. He just kicks ass personally. I mean, his in-ring work this recently has been kind of comedic more than anything else. It hasn't been really athletic wrestling, in my personal opinion, more like sports entertainment type of thing. I think promo work, he should do that with the comedy act, but in the ring, he should be more serious. But that's just my viewpoint, personally. Rachel Buck then says, and he can easily break wrestlers out of their character easily. All he has to do is talk, and some of these wrestlers can break character and laugh. You can easily catch it. Well, yeah, Sami Zayn did the same thing with Roman Reigns. So, I mean, again, like I said, I have nothing against R-Truth. I wish him the best of luck. I hope that they give him a push. I think this thing that they are trying to slowly push towards is great for him. It's great for The Miz. The Miz needs something. Because me personally, if I had to choose between Jinder Mahal and The Miz for world championship opportunity against Seth Rollins, I'll take The Miz. At least he's been there. He's been doing something. He may not have been winning, but he's at least there on a consistent basis. Jinder Mahal is hardly ever there. I mean, what the fuck has this guy done? Nothing. It's a fucking joke. I'm getting a world championship next week. It's a fucking joke and a half. Anyway, he continues on, says, between Priest, Rollins, Zayn, and Jey Uso being moved to Raw because of Cody's magical political power, and CM Punk making his return to wide open arms, McIntyre should revisit this leaving the company thing. Maybe he should leave for 9 years and then he'll get a hero's reception on his return. Maybe he should. Who knows? Me, again, I'm not a big fan of CM Punk anymore. I used to be, but what he did in AEW, I think was below the belt. I think Tony Khan was treated like fucking dog shit. And I think he did Tony Khan total disservice. I really didn't like what he did. I mean, I'll be the first one to say, though, Tony Khan needs to get his act together. Really. He needs to quit with this bullshit. I'm a fan of wrestling and start acting like a boss. That's what he needs to do. But that's not here or there. CM Punk should have given him the respect because Tony Khan gave CM Punk a ton of respect. He treated him like a main eventer. He did what he needed to do to make CM Punk feel like he was the top priority in that company, as he should. CM Punk should have been top priority in WWE. And now CM Punk's being treated like top priority. Hence why we have CM Punk in WWE, because Triple H and him had a conversation while CM Punk was out of action. And that was probably one of the biggest beefs that CM Punk had with the company at the time. Triple H heard him out on it. And now that he has creative control of things and a little bit of swing power in the back with other stuff, he's able to give him what he wants. Vince McMahon did not see the value in him. I think Triple H does. So that's why he's getting the kind of push he's getting, in my personal opinion. All right. So CM Punk's music hits, gets a loud crowd reaction. Talks about Rowdy Piper because they're in Rowdy Piper's hometown. And CM Punk basically says, I'm not really a bad guy. I'm actually a good guy, which is a crock of shit. McIntyre said, well, when you were in the company, you acted like you called yourself some kind of leader. And CM Punk said, I never claimed to be a leader. That's a crock of shit, CM Punk. We know that to be true, that you did say you were a leader. You said that in WWE. You said that in AEW. Quit bullshitting everyone. Tell that to the Young Bucks, Punk. Yeah. I'm sure the Young Bucks have a lot to say on that and probably say he tries to act like he's a leader in the locker room. But he openly admits something. He's here to make money, not friends, and he wants to win the Royal Rumble and headline WrestleMania. Well, at least he's being honest on that one. Because everything else, I got bullshit. The bullshit alarm was going off. And I could smell it a mile away. So things just led from one thing to the next, and sorry. Things led from one thing to the next, and eventually we got Punk saying that he was going to eliminate Drew McIntyre from the Royal Rumble, and so on and so forth. And that CM Punk is Satan himself when you push him to the back of the wall, push his back to the wall. So it was a very nice promo, very good, very long, drawn out. I'm not going to read the whole entire thing to you guys. I'd spend like an extra 10 to 15 minutes doing that. I want to try to keep this under an hour because it is 9:00 and I'd like to have some time to relax before I go back to work tomorrow. But yeah. And eventually it led to the end of the promo. It was a very good promo. I'll give them that. So we get a backstage segment with Tommaso Ciampa walking with his DIY tag team partner Johnny Gargano backstage. Ciampa says this is the 19th anniversary of his wrestling debut. It's been a long road for guys like them. They have heart and perseverance. What they want is the WWE tag team titles. This isn't about can't lose. This is a must-win 2024. If you want a New Year's resolution, the new tag team champions will be DIY. Absolutely fucking love this. This is a match that needs to be booked for WrestleMania. Guaranteed. We have R-Truth and The Miz, which is another great tag team to be put together. We get those two together. We got the Creed brothers, That's another decent tag team. You got the War Raiders, which eventually is going to come back. Currently, we got Ivar just wrestling. Eric's still out with injury, but eventually that's going to happen. Imperium's another good tag team. We got really, really good tag teams in WWE currently. I really like the tag team division in WWE right now. AEW is in way WWE was last year or so. They've really flipped. I don't know what the fuck happened to AEW's tag team wrestling, but their tag team division is absolute dog crap. And they're acting like WWE Vince McMahon-esque. Big time. It's pretty fucking sad over there, truthfully. And this is coming from an AEW fan. So I'm not being biased here. I'm being openly honest and telling facts. So we have Finn Balor versus Tommaso Ciampa. This was actually a fairly decent matchup. The match did end with Tommaso Ciampa picking up the victory with a little bit of help from Johnny Gargano cheating. Pretty cool way to end it. I'm not a big fan of a champion losing, but if you want to get technical, they cheated to win. So didn't really hurt them all that much. So I have to say that this was a decent spot in what they did. So Ciampa and Gargano retreat up the ramp. Priest charges the ring and is furious. Replays are shown of Nia Jax defeating Becky Lynch last week on Raw Day 1. Jax hit Lynch with a uppercut and busted her open. So backstage interview, Jackie Redmond is backstage with the man Becky Lynch. Redmond asked Lynch about her loss to Nia Jax. Lynch says says before the match, Jax told her to imagine if she put her full weight behind the punch. Lynch tried to Lynch tried to imagine that, thinking maybe she busted her orbital socket, bust her nose, or put her into the hospital. Last week, Lynch took a full force punch and was able to walk to the back. Lynch then declared herself for the Royal Rumble. Last time Jax punched her, she went on to win the main event of WrestleMania. Maybe Jax is getting weaker and Lynch is getting stronger. Jax didn't end Lynch and she didn't stop Jax. Maybe this is just the beginning. Okay. In the arena, Kofi Kingston makes his entrance, and we get a match with Kofi Kingston and Ludwig Kaiser. I keep fucking mispronouncing his name. We also get an announcement that Money in the Bank will be in Toronto in July. They're going all out, making every pay-per-view very important. I like that. Backstage segment, WWE's Women's Tag Team Champions, Kaden Carter and Katana Chance, are shown warming up backstage and practicing some wheelbarrow moves. Elsewhere backstage, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven are firing up themselves. Terrific. Kofi Kingston actually ends up getting his ass kicked at the end of this. This is a double count out, and Kaiser just beats the holy hell out of fucking Kingston. Gives him a concussion, pretty much says, hey, you want to injure my friend, my own tag team partner, and I fuck your ass up. Which I thought was great. It showed Kaiser has a lot of intensity, a personality, and a lot of charisma. And I enjoyed it. I like what Triple H is doing with the full control that he has. I am truly enjoying the mere emotions that we get from these wrestlers now. We get real raw emotion, which matches up to the fucking title of the show, Raw. We need to make the show raw, in person, up in your face, fucking downright gritty. Or there's no point in calling it Monday Night Raw, because then it ain't raw anymore. It's soft. So, just my viewpoint on that. Oh, yeah. Another thing that really is troubling me, and I am very thankful my girlfriend has Amazon Prime, but there is conversation going on that Amazon Prime might be the top bidder for Monday Night Raw. Now, I don't like that one fucking bit. I don't like it at all. If I didn't have my girlfriend using Amazon Prime, I'd be fucked because there is no damn way I'm paying another subscription to another fucking platform so I can watch another wrestling show. For one wrestling show, give me a fucking break, man. That's a joke. That really pisses me off that I saw that in the news today, which I hope is not true. I hope it's a rumor. I hope it doesn't occur or happen because that would be very sad. I wouldn't be shocked if SmackDown goes to fucking Amazon Prime too. I wouldn't be shocked. Rachel Buck says, "What do you think of Karrion Kross and the stable that he has with Authors of Pain and Scarlet? Do you think the stable will do well with WWE or will it fail?" I think it's going to pass. I think it's something that Karrion Kross needs. Um, I think they need to go in a different direction with Karrion Kross. I don't think he needs this, let's pull a card and see what wrestler's on it type of shit. I mean, this is the kind of garbage that they're doing with Shinsei Nakamura. Only he's not doing with, psychic powers, bullshit like that. He's just picking out or pinpointing who he thinks he should go after and just go after him. There's like no rhyme or reason behind Shinsei Nakamura. Neither was Karrion Kross. Period. Matt 87 Ingle says, I see Jade Cargill making her in-ring debut at the Rumble somewhere in the early teens, having a moderate go before getting eliminated by a notable name. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think she is worth putting in there. I mean, God forbid she doesn't turn out to be good in a ring and she's a complete, utter joke. It's the fucking Royal Rumble. I mean, they can easily just get her out of the ring as quickly as possible. It's not like it's a big fucking deal. So yeah, I think that's a great way to debut her. I mean, we did see her on TV a while back, but I don't believe she's had a single match since then. Just a backstage segment of her coming in. That's pretty much it. So nothing too serious. All right. So Jackie Redmond is backstage and is looking for an update on Kofi Kingston. Ludwig Kaiser walks up to her and she asks about his flipping the switch and becoming a different person. Kaiser asks her what she would expect. Kaiser is carrying the whole world of Imperium because of Kofi Kingston. Kingston took Giovanni Vinci's head, so he took Kingston's head instead. Makes logical sense to me. Anyway, Michael Cole interviews Nia Jax. So Nia Jax makes her way to the ring. Cole says she shocked the world when she dominated Becky Lynch to pick up the victory last week on Raw. Hold on. Jax is incredibleist that Cole said it was shocking. Jax wasn't shocked. She's a different Nia Jax. She's more focused. Is Cole like these people here who didn't think she'd break Becky Lynch's face again? What would be shocking is if she broke Cole's face. Jack says she's more focused on the Royal Rumble. Soon she'll run through 29 other women, and soon she'll run through the World Champion main eventing WrestleMania. Whether it's Rhea Ripley or Io Sky, there's not a man or woman who can stop her. Um, Rhea Ripley shows up. She says, "Hey, you look pretty confident. You're very interested in winning. You seem like you think you're going to already win the Royal Rumble, face me for the world title, and yada, yada, yada. But there's one small problem. You're not bloody effing Ripley. Uh, and it's going to be very hard for you to get through me to become world heavyweight champion." Um, I mean, there was not much here to talk about. I mean, it was pretty simplistic, straight to the point. So Jax says she gives Ripley all the credit. The crowd loudly boos Jax, and Ripley might be the most dominant champion in the division's history, but she put Ripley on her ass when she came back. The only reason she's not holding this title is because Ripley is too scared to face her one-on-one. At the Royal Rumble, when she squashes 29 other people and wins, she's going to choose Ripley, and Ripley will have to have no excuse and no choice but to face her, Jack says. "See you soon, unstoppable champ," and then she walks off. And that's pretty much it. Good segment. I didn't really have any issues with it. Rachel Buck says, "Do you think Dragon Lee versus Lexis King on NXT? Do you think Dragon Lee will lose his championship tonight on NXT and stay on SmackDown or stay on NXT?" I don't give a flying fuck, Rachel, about that. I don't care about NXT. I don't watch NXT anymore. There's nothing about NXT noteworthy of watching. They are not a main roster. They are not treated as an important entity on the WWE roster anymore like they used to. And I think it's quite sad, but hey, it is what it is. So I have no opinion about it. Dragon Lee retains the North American Championship. Great. If he don't, oh well. I think he's gonna stay on SmackDown though. Rachel Buck says they are turning Rhea Ripley from heel to babyface. Do you agree with that now that she's turning from heel to face? Probably so, because of the fact the way Judgment Day is looking lately. I mean, they can always fix that instantly. I mean, it's not like they have to break them up just because they're trying to create realistic, lifelike issues that could happen between people in a friendship or in a group. Um, so they can always have their differences and not break up at the same time. There's no guarantee that that has to happen just because it's occurring currently right now on television. I mean, it happens in life. So, I mean, for them to just break them up for the sake of breaking them up because it's storyline driven, I think that's just too damn predictable. I think they ought to just stick with what they think is working and what's not. If it's not working anymore, then yeah, I think they should break them up. But if it is working, and with R-Truth now, they seem very comedic. I think it's funny as shit, actually. But speaking of that, R-Truth did have a segment about the Judgment Day and himself, which I found absolutely funny as hell. So don't get me wrong. I think Judgment Day is great. I think that they need some kind of adrenaline pushed into them creatively, because ever since the Survivor Series show, I don't see them as an important entity. I think they're kind of like the bloodline right now. They're just there. They're not really important. The titles seem to be more important than the faction. So I think the world titles are more important than anything else. And the only reason why the bloodline are at all important right now is because one of their head guys are carrying the world championship. That's all. So that's just me. Rachel Buck says, should she stay the same like she is, or should she go from the dark side to the light side? Stay the way she is and be an anti-hero if they want to turn her face, but not change the way she acts. That's just my viewpoint. Anyway, let's continue. All right. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven make their entrance, blah, blah, blah. Jackie Redmond is backstage with the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. She asks about facing Shinsuke Nakamura. Rhodes says this should be over. All of a sudden, Shinsuke Nakamura attacks Rhodes from behind, and Rhodes fights back and sends Nakamura into a road case. WWE officials quickly break things up, and General Manager Adam Pearce runs up and screams at them to maintain order. Later on in the show, it's announced that this is going to be a street fight. Chelsea Green and Caitlin Carter, Caitlin Carter and Kanta Chance defend the titles against Chelsea Green, and Piper Niven. Nothing important here. Katana and fuck. Caden Carter and Katana Chance retain her titles, and that's that. Big deal. Don't really care. Michael Cole has some breaking news due to the attack backstage. Main event was going to be a street fight. Okay. R-Truth is shown talking about this is great. R-Truth is shown talking about being born in Charlotte, North Carolina on a cold January morning. That day, he told the doctor that he would be in the Judgment Day. That dream came true. They've been through a lot together. Money in the Bank, the Women's Royal Rumble, the Judgment Day in your house, which I thought was fucking hilarious. That was fucking awesome. They had R-Truth's face posted on Undertaker's face. The Judgment Day is an unbreakable bond. Photoshopped and AI generated images are shown of R-Truth with Judgment Day. Replays are shown of R-Truth beating JD McDonough in a match that was jokingly set for the winner being out of the Judgment Day, and R-Truth loves all the members, even Dom and Nick Mysterio. Oh, shit. Even though he hasn't met Nick. Live, laugh, and love. That shit was fucking hilarious. I mean, seriously, how the fuck could you not find that funny? That you wouldn't find that on Vincent Mann's creative booking. And he didn't have a great sense of humor. Some people might say I'm being hypocritical. This is stuff we would see on WWE from Vince McMahon. No, this was not. When he did it, it wasn't as funny as this. He's coming across like he's got fucking screws loose in his head, man. He's acting like he's fucking gone. It's just fucking hilarious. I think it's awesome. I really do. Now, granted, I think this is a way of shooing him into a Miz R-Truth, Awesome Truth tag team, which I think should develop. Not have him part of Judgment Day. The two don't mix. I'm sorry. To me, if anything, you're looking at a Sami Zayn Bloodline 2.0 storyline that's turned into a joke. That's really what this is. If you want to get technical, if they continue on with this shit and don't have him with Miz, this is a Sami Zayn Bloodline 2.0 reenactment in a very comedic and pathetic way. And if it continues like that, I will come out and say this is getting a little overkill. I think we need to move away from this. I think for right now it's okay, but for it to continue on for a long-term period of time, I'm totally against it. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But for the time being, it's funny as shit. I will admit that. Oh my gosh. But yeah, let's continue on here. Matt 87 Eagle says R-Truth is a riot and they should get rid of JD McDonough and keep R-Truth. Wow, that's fucked up. Damian Priest is shown backstage in the Judgment Day Clubhouse laughing at what he's just watched. But JD McDonough is not happy. Rhea Ripley asks when they're going to handle the R-Truth joke. Priest says when the time comes, they'll handle it. Ripley says Priest and Finn Balor have a lot to deal with DIY showing up as possible contenders. Balor flips out about them, and so Priest calms him down. Priest Priest says that Drew McIntyre is too much of a joke to be his enemy. Speaking of enemies, did Ripley think it was a good idea to make one with Nia Jax? Ripley tells McDonough to take care of the Miz, and McDonough is confident he will, which actually he does not. Oh man. Miz actually wins this match with the skull crushing finale. Match was whatever. I mean, it wasn't all that important. I barely paid attention to it. Back at the Judgment Day Clubhouse, Balor, Priest, and Ripley are not happy with this result. Balor says this cannot keep happening. Ripley says she's going to talk to Raw General Manager Adam Pearce about their plans for next week. Priest says they'll tell the boys when they get back. And that's pretty much it. Backstage segment, world champion Seth Rollins is walking backstage. We'll hear from him next. We get the comments made by Rollins, kind of giving us a glimpse of what we should expect, who's going to possibly face him for the world championship, which, God help us, it was Jinder Mahal, who's next week getting a shot at the title. Mentions that he's the first ever, this is his first time ever being a world champion, going into the WrestleMania pay-per-view possibly and defending it. So he's never had that opportunity before. He mentioned CM Punk by name in his promo. He gets a kind of a boo situation going on. So Jinder Mahal's music hits. I mean, this was absolutely fucking ridiculous. I'm not even sitting through all this shit. I really don't care. I was so fucking pissed off watching this shit unfold on my television set last night that it was an absolute joke. And the one thing that Seth Rollins did say that's true is Rock had him put his balls in a vice. I mean, literally, Rock kicked his ass on a promo. Easy. Why he's on television the next week doing a Baron Corbin reenactment is beyond me. I have no idea. All right, Shinsuke Nakamura shown warming up backstage. Nakamura will battle the American Dream or American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, in the street fight. We do get a match with Otis and Ivar. Otis, I believe, loses. Yeah, Otis loses the match from a lion salt, which was very nice. I hope Charlotte Flair was taking notes on that one. Matt A7 Eagle says, can we please hinder the gender? Yes, we do watch JD from New York 206, Matt, so we know where you're getting your reference from. Anywho, backstage interview. Jackie Redmond is backstage with the main event, Jey Uso. She wishes him a happy new year. 2024 is a new vibe for him. This is the first time he's going into the new year solo. Jay says he's going to get his first ever WWE Singles Championship in 2024. The Yeet Master is in the game. Big Bronson Reed walks up to him. Jay isn't the only one with plans to become a champion in 2024. Reed warns him to not get in his way, and Reed walks off, and Jay doesn't look happy. I kind of like Jey Uso doing this promo. I hope he does win an IC championship down the line, but not at WrestleMania. I hope that Gunther is facing Brock Lesnar for the IC title, and we get the Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso without the title on the line. I think that would be fine. I don't think we need an IC title on the line on top of all that. But I think that would be kind of stupid. But I mean, I'm not against it really. I mean, I think it's okay. But I think I would love to see Brock Lesnar going after a mid-card title for the first time in his career. I don't think we've ever seen that happen. And I think that would be awesome. Him even winning the IC title would be kind of interesting in my book, but I don't know if people would agree with me on that. And that wouldn't be against Ginger. I keep saying Ginger Mahal. What the fuck's wrong with me? Gunther actually retaining against Brock Lesnar and then just losing it to someone who's on the roster consistently. So that's just my viewpoint on that. We've come to the main event, Street Fight, Shinsuke Nakamura and American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. This was very predictable. I mean, if you know the patterns of WWE and what they do, the action was fairly decent. Good main event. I didn't have any gripes with it. But it wasn't what I was looking for. I think Shinsuke Nakamura should have won, personally. Y'all may think I'm kind of crazy and out to lunch, but I think it would have been a little bit creative, different, new, fresh, unpredictable, as you could say. But it's all right to go with the safe option with Cody Rhodes. I think people would start questioning what the fuck they're doing with him. I mean, they could still add the adversity that I'm talking about, like putting him number 1 in the Royal Rumble. If they had a authority figure that disliked him so much that would want to do that. But Adam Pearce is very unbiased. He's kind of in the middle of the road. He doesn't really get involved in a whole lot of storylines with the performers outside of booking the matches when needed. So, I mean, it's not really anything to, worry about of that happening. But I do hope that they put him somewhere in the middle of the Royal Rumble and not last like they did last year. That was fucking idiotic. I mean, that was dumb as shit. I don't even know why they did that. But overall, the show wasn't terrible. Like I said, world title match next week against Jinder Mahal. Hopefully that's a quick match. We find out who's our number 1 contender for the world title at Royal Rumble. So I don't have to go ahead and spend $5,000 of my damn money to sit there and watch fucking Jinder Mahal. Oh, God. I swear, I was really considering selling my damn tickets. Honestly. I was extremely pissed when I found this out. So I'll tell you what, guys, this was not a bad show, but not a great show either. It was fairly decent right down the middle. I will be here tomorrow night to review AEW Dynamite and give you guys a full-fledged live show again, like we did here tonight. I mean, I didn't get the kind of viewership I was hoping for, but it is what it is. I'm sure all of you will catch me after this show goes off the air. For the few that did tune in, for the 1 to 3 people, greatly appreciate you showing up here and supporting me live. For the people after the show, thank you for tuning in all the way to the very end. I greatly appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, by all means, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Of course, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, why you're not, I have no fucking idea, unless you're a first-time viewer. And on top of that, leave a comment down below, and I'll definitely get back to you on that. I thank you guys very much for watching, and have a great night, guys. Bye.